Lengthy and strong, but he's very mobile, agile, and futile.
His skill set is coveted by every player.
Fruitile?
Oh, no question.
I got that
What's fruitile?
I got it from Dick Vitale. I don't know.
Fruitile?
I heard Dick Vitale say it.
What does fruitile mean?
Fruitile is like it's fruitful, but it's got a lot of tile to it.
But it's futile as well.
Traffic heading in and out of downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. The setting for our court. So the Timberwolves win the tip. And Kevin, your last couple of years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How big do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. When you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. He understands history. He's been here before. You follow him through his high school years. He's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do his rookie year? That's what's driving him.
Got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. Setting the floor for the Hornets. You've got Lee. Big Dog is out there at B-Train. Then there's Lights Out, and it's Wolf at the small forward position. Hayward gets to Jennings. Clock at 6. From 12 feet out. Hayward can't hit. You talk about Karl Anthony Towns and his willingness to learn. You can't be great, I don't think, Kev, if you're not curious. And I always thought that was one of your best qualities. You were always curious.
Listen, I was super curious, and I always chased that curiosity. Not only that, I started to put the work ethic with that. If you don't put those things together, well, I would always tell him, be humble. Don't ever get to the point where your arrogance, starts to take over. Let your arrogance be on the court, what you're doing, how you're playing. Control your breathing. The young fella has a lot of good bones. I love his makeup. I love the fact that I had a year with him to teach him perspective, teach him mentality, to teach him that you got to come in here and work on this every day. And the day that you don't, someone has advantage. He pushes himself. Karl Anthony Towns he's from the pedigree, man. He's one of them ones. I like to think that he's under the umbrella. He's one of my young brothers, man.
Joseph, the pass to Wolf. To the paint. Here's Wilkes. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
No, big finish, emphatic.
He hangs on the rim just for good measure. Wow. Timberwolves have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time, Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. The time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long.
Ooh, that's an old-fashioned rim wrap.
Just a remarkable gem. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now. Hey, Kevin, when you played with Andrew Wiggins, you saw firsthand just how explosive he can be. What impresses you most about where he is right now and where he could go?
Man, Andrew's potential is through the roof. I've told him this countless times that when he wants to, he can. There's nothing that he can't do. It's just about his consistency and how he sees that. Man, I told him that the world is his. I've yet to see a player in our league that has the athletic ability that he has, mixed with the IQ and being able to be players on both sides of the ball if he wants to. This kid is super long, he's fast, he's deceptionally fast. Like, I don't think people know how fast he really is. Great shooter, has a great IQ, not a good IQ, a great IQ. I told him, man, I would like to see him do a little more in the step. But if you know Drew, he's laid back. He's super cool, he's smooth with it, and his game reminds you of Steve Smith, and Smitty used to, rock people to sleep. He has a very good patience to his game.
And Kevin, do you think you gravitate towards those young players because you were in their shoes at one time as a very, very young player in this league?
A little bit, but more importantly, I see it. I see it in him. I see it if he pushed through a little bit, and
You know it. You spot it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
because you know what you see in young talent, you see it when it's there. When it's right in your face, like, holy, then go get a rebound, put it back, dunk the ball, still it, dunk it, come back down, and then be like, huh? You know, I often wonder how much Drew is actually stimulated. You know, he gets bored very easily, but when he turns it on, he is one of the best. He's going to be one of the best in our league to come.
The Timberwolves making a switch. Leitner's checked in. For Charlotte, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Wiggins against Lee. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against? Down low, we'll stick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of, I've always said Rasheed Wallace, I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me, but shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson is one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs had to get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. He was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his.
No kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end. Like,
Never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards, and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Here's Joseph. And he really did play well against Chicago in that last game. Lee against Wiggins. Lee dishes to Joseph. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? How would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for it. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest, and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I die, it's cold.
Utang ina.
Now, look, my call, I need the answer.
Well, Andrew Wiggins, if you allow him to work in space, turn the lights out.
Not loose. Here's Dio. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. And Joseph kicks the lead. And Kev, you think of the great ones. You, Kobe, Jordan,
Timmy,
yeah, how about
Shea.
him? They worked harder than anybody else, Kevin.
And what you learn is that the similarity or the parallel that you all have is an inner animal that you never speak about. You know, we're all a little off. We're all a little dark. But that's what pushes you through pain. That's what pushes you through tough moments. When someone says you can't, when someone says this is not possible, this is unreal. No one has ever done it. That's the moment you're looking for. The moment someone told Kobe that he couldn't get over 50, 60, something Jordan couldn't do, he was driven in that. And if Phil wouldn't have stopped him, he probably would have reached 100 points.
Probably would have, yeah.
You know, he did Will Chamberlain the favor. And that's just real. He was in that type of mode. We all share that passion. We all share that drive. And the ones that have that inner darkness, we all understand.
It's like a split personality, huh?
It's almost like another level.
Yeah. Here's B-Train. He had 19 points in the win against Chicago.
And it felt like he was literally everywhere on the defensive end. Multiple rejections, stifling all game long.
Joseph against Hayward. Just 5 on the clock. And Joseph slings it home.
And folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
And the way he went about it, no better way to increase the lead and energizes your teammates.
Wiggins gets to Jennings. Arnett with the screen for Jennings. It's up a 3. It's tipped. Over in the corner, Lee. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more hit. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord, y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout to my OBF team, y'all know what it is. Shout to Dex, shout to Bug, shout to everybody out there playing. Right,
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF, I'm about the team, I'm gang, you know what it is. Jizzle Lord, y'all holler at me, y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Garcia, he's checked in for Charlotte. Hornets leading by 12. Joseph with the ball. He's got 8. Lee outside. Back to Joseph. And the pass to Boyd. No good on the shot. Excellent D there from Garnett. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it's something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what Any Man Cave is, and that's really what it is. But the fact that we can go in, watch the games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important. Because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. That the creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man, to continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. And you capture a lot of the fun of life.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Hopefully it shows.
And it's blocked by Brown. Outside Harper. Stolen by Brand. Outside Garcia. Harper against Campbell. Back to Garcia. Baseline jumper. Passes it to Campbell. Kicks it out to Garcia. Some solid defense from Brown.
And it's not easy to get those stops at the rim, but he does a great job of it.
Yeah, he can make it look simple on the interior when it's really not. He knew exactly how to guard on the inside.
Now Garcia. 20 points for him last game against Chicago.
Yeah, don't forget how great he was drawing contact and getting himself to the free throw line. Picked up a ton of easy points.
That's a great dunk.
He's an athletic freak.
Wow.
And really focused on establishing dominance down low. And guys, it's working.
Oh, no doubt. I think they've controlled the paint. They've used their size and strength to get off any shot they want.
And so it's Charlotte with the size of the lead as the quarter wraps up. They're ahead 16 points. Their transition game has been in full effect. Right back after this break. Well, not exactly a close... Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Cole for a year, or got to team at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
It was. My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was. But Cole,
you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything.
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, it probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even gonna front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual, my boys, and we sit back and watch the game and loving the game.
Yeah. We've got Brown. Laker out there with Karl Anthony Towns. And there's Harper. And it's Kerr in at the point. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Timberwolves. Kerr against Campbell. Brand, a screen on Kerr. Here's Campbell, the pass to Boyd. Campbell with it. Five on the clock. Here's Garcia. And the foul called on ABC. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, a little too physical on that play. Tries to climb over the top of him and gets whistled for it.
Well, the aggressive attitude getting the best of him that time.
Pass to Leitner. Towns, a screen on Brent. And there's the whistle. Illegal screen. And let's take a look at the playmaking here. This chart with the assist totals split between the front court and the back court tonight for the Hornets.
And their guards have led the way in that regard. The ball is in their hands, and credit to them. They're not just looking to get shots up. They're of the mindset to create great looks for everybody.
Campbell against Kerr. It's stolen by Kerr. Fires the three. Sinks the three-pointer. Kerr's got a couple of three-pointers in the second for the Timberwolves.
Rough start for him, but he seems to have turned the corner here in the second period.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For those who care, 82 games is how you got to come through it. Listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is.
Here's Towns. Rebounded by Graham.
Boy, the defense collapsing and throwing him off balance on his way to the cup.
Pass to Lyons. Kerr against Campbell. To the right side. Darcy.
Oh!
You got to be kidding.
And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game.
Well, there's a swagger out there. You can see it on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either. And with that, the Hornet lead is cut to just 11 on the basket from Leitner. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev? I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
Which you did.
which I did,
Yes.
and you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with the rigorous schedule of the NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you. You have to put your spin on it and for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Jaylen Brown. Wiggins comes in for Steve Kerr. And it's Jennings in for Ron Harper.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Wolf passes to Gamble. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Would you want a coach who was animated, or do you want a coach who was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. Coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, that it's a game of momentum, that has plays for those momentums and those times. But coaches that have always gravitated to and understood that they
Like Doc was kind of in between, one a little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calm demeanor in that side.
Doc was all fire. I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
Cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc would rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play you do. Absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, that's important.
Well, Wiggins, young in his career, but he's already giving lots of defenders headaches night after night.
So far, he's hit all of his shots at the foul line, going 4 for 4. Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that really you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently.
I call it dialed in. I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not
can
at
you?
all, not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
Kevin Garnett is checked in for Leighton. Lee's checked in for Charlotte. Joseph comes in for Campbell. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition, too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to spacing that we had down.
I did, and I like to say that, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
There's a screen. Here's Towns.
Oh! Wow, the size and speed of Towns, a natural-born highlight reel.
Here's Dio. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Here's Joseph. And it's in. Basket number 6 for him thus far. He has only missed 2 shots from the floor. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every challenge?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Here's the screen. Lee outside. 6 to shoot. Hayward grabs the board.
I'll tell you, he's been dry from three-point range in the second quarter after hitting one in the first.
Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe. Who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase it.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like, oh my God, I want to bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk the ball. I was like, yeah, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
Now, here's Joseph. 12 points for him. They set the pick. Garnett. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. That one is on Towns.
Yeah, easy call.
For Charlotte, they haven't made a mistake at the line yet. 10 of 10. The first one falls. Leitner's checked in for Towns. Charlotte also making some changes. Big Daddy comes in for Big Dog, and it's Garcia in for the Beast. Timberwolves trail by 15. Wiggins dishes to Jennings. Hayward kicks to Garnett. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got 3 assists in the game. last timeout. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And they just had it going from deep. Plus, they were efficient about it.
I thought Greg, masterful ball movement and shooting for them that night. They were draining every three in sight.
Big Cat is checked in for B-Train. Right side Garcia. Back to Joseph. 54 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Screen by Brand. Here's Lee outside. Offensive rebound. Back to Joseph. There's the pick. On the wing, Lee takes a three. Sinks the triple. Lee's got 14.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Well, there's no doubt this guy's on a hot streak right now. That's why he keeps getting the ball in this one. They're like, hey, we're going to feed the hot hand.
Great to have you with us, KG, and enlightening experience. Come back and join us sometime, okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it anytime.
You were terrific. You were terrific. You were great.
K-Hall, you always made me look good, man. Since 95, man. We've been doing this a long time out there.
Great to see you.
Thank you, dog.
And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm. And it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
And so it's Charlotte holding a big 18-point lead to close the quarter. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting. They've been dialed in so far from the field. Back to the action after this word.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. After the first two quarters of play, it's Charlotte in control. They are in control of this game, up by 18. Kenny, what did you see from them?
Well, they were completely in rhythm shooting the basketball. Just watching the...
And that will wrap.
Liam. And as we welcome you back, Doris, it's been said that you started playing basketball in the second grade. How did your love of this sport become so evident so early?
Yeah, you know, I moved to the Jersey Shore when I was 7 years old. There was a park right next door. And, you know, I'm the last of 8 kids. My family didn't have a ton of money, but boy, all I needed was a rim and a basketball, and I could spend 6, 7, 8 hours. My mother used to call me back in from the park to have lunch or dinner. I just spent my entire childhood on the hard court next door dribbling away.
Were you naturally good at it, or did you feel like you had to work at it, or did you just feel like I got a knack for this?
No, I think, you know, obviously when you play the game from 7 years old, you pick up on a lot of the nuance. Then as in anything, you have to work hard at something to be good at it. And it didn't feel like work because I love basketball.
Shows even now. Tipping off the second half. Here's Steve Clifford's 5. Lights out there with Lee. Then there's Big Dog. That's the Beast. And it's B-Train in at the 4 slot. Lee against Wiggins. Big Dog, the pass to Joseph. And with a little over a minute gone, the second half is underway. Here's Lee. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Charlotte needs to get a shot. Andrew Wiggins pulls it in.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Jennings in the corner. Over Joseph. Jennings can't get it to go.
Well, can't find the target, but good work to get into open space inside the arc.
Well executed, and then you love the strong finish.
Yes, you love that they're not settling for anything outside the paint. Excellent work getting right to the tin.
He kicks it to Garnett. He with the block, and they'll keep possession. And that one's good. Wiggins. And here is Joseph. 14 points for him. Hangs in the air, and it's good on the layup. Joseph's got 16.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Outside Jennings. Garnett with a screen on Joseph. Garnett outside. Just 5 to shoot. Three-pointer. Hayward at balls. Nice speed that time from Wiggins. Hayward's got himself on the board with 3 there. Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now. Joseph, the pass to B-Train. On the wing, Lee, covered by Wiggins. Lee kicks to Joseph. Back to Lee, over Wiggins. Out to Lee, from deep three-point range, but they recover it. Joseph dishes to Lee, and Lee with the stuff.
Not surprised at all. He's shooting it well and scoring points in bunches.
Timberwolves trail by 18, and the Timberwolves call time. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And guys, they just got so many good looks in that one, and the defense never able to affect their offensive rhythm.
Well, I think the defense from the other team was simply porous. There's no other way to put it. So many openings, and they made them pay for it.
Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Minnesota. Kicks to Joseph. Wiggins against Lee. Back to Joseph. Out to Lee. And stolen by Wiggins. To the inside. Here's Hayward. That shot missing. And Charlotte will go the other way with it.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead. And how's that for some ups coming from that one?
Well, he is a rarity among NBA point guards in his ability to elevate.
But how much more dynamic is your backcourt when you add that element of elite athleticism?
Garnett outside. There's the screen. Back to Hayward. All alone. Again, the miss by Hayward.
A great look on that. Just a little out of rhythm.
Yeah, he looked like he forced that a little bit. Just needs to take his time. Got to make these shots right now.
Lee passes to Joseph. Here's B-Train. And a miss there on the triple.
Oh, he'd like to have that one back. He'd almost never get that wide open a look.
And Towns the bucket on the assist by Hayward. Hayward's got his 5th assist in this one. Here's the Beast. 17 points in the game. Joseph with the ball. Here's Wilkes. Slammed off, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. That one is on Towns.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Minnesota making a switch here. Leitner's checked in. Wiggins kicks to Jennings. Stolen by Joseph. Oh!
My goodness.
Oh, let's go home. That was just ridiculous.
I do not remember the last time I saw a dunk like that in a game. Wiggins dishes to Jennings. He's looking for Wiggins and finds him. And the rebound goes to the Hornets. B-Train's got his 5th rebound in this one. That one drops for him. And it's now 22 points for Joseph.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Jennings against Joseph. There's a good screen. Hayward passes to Wiggins. Looking to end the run. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got 6 assists here tonight. Here's B-Train. He's got 11. Now Joseph. To the left wing. Just 5 on the clock. On the wing, Lee. Over Wiggins. And the shot falls short this time. And there's a whistle that goes on Beachrain. That'll be his second foul of the game. And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Jaylen Brown's checked in for Hayward. Kerr comes in for Wiggins. And it's Harper in for Brandon Jennings. And then for Charlotte, Big Daddy comes in for Big Dog. And it's Big Cat in for Beachrain. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Or who are some of the guys that surprise you with their toughness on a nightly basis in the NBA?
You know, you have to think historically, pound for pound in the history of the NBA, the toughest single guy was Allen Iverson. For me, the current iteration, and I'm not saying that Isaiah Thomas is Allen Iverson, they're drastically different players because Isaiah doesn't have that kind of athleticism that AI had early. But Isaiah at 5'9", to continually find his way into the paint, to be willing to attack the bigs, to absorb the kind of pounding he does, and get himself into the MVP conversation, Kevin, really, that was incredible.
LeBron probably takes, for a guy his size, to think he can dish it out, but I'm telling you, I think he gets whacked all the time.
I think, Kevin, this is the single hardest guy in the NBA to officiate today, and frankly, I do not believe LeBron James goes to the foul line as much as he deserves.
Well said. They set the pick. Here's Lee. Rebound, Minnesota.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
You know, that's okay, I think. Even though they miss, they still have to be happy with the shot selection.
Garnett outside. The pass to Leitner. And the rejection by Brown. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Here's Campbell. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Screen by Brand. Campbell kicks to Lee. And here is Campbell. Clock at 6. Out to Lee. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Lee's got 6 points in the quarter.
Well, he's kept them in balance tonight. This guy's shooting has put them in front.
They set the pick. Brown wide open. He fires. And another 3 for Minnesota.
Another triple. And that's been the story of this second half.
Boy, they have consistently been draining shots from deep, and that can take the heart out of an opponent.
Campbell with it. Screen by Brand. Passes it to Boyd. It's stolen by Brown. And here comes Brown. Leading the fast break.
Look out.
And that's a rugged play.
That's straight toughness. We've got to get this guy in the dunk contest. Jaylen Brown taking flight with that insane athleticism.
Here's the beast. He's got 17. To the wing on the left. Harper against Campbell. Lee outside. Shot clock at 6. Pass to Wolf. And inside. And it's blocked by Brown. He dishes it to Harper. Pass to Leitner. 1:30 left to play in the third. The kick out to Brown. And a miss there on the triple.
Nice timing to get up on that shot.
Boy, you can't ask for better defense, Greg. Excellent work getting right into the grill of the shooter.
And some changes here for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Leitner. And Andrew Wiggins is subbed in for Steve Kerr. And a switcher also for Charlotte. Garcia, he's checked in for the Beast. Here's Wiggins. Basket made. That gives him 7 field goals in 13 tries.
Boy, more points on the board for Wiggins. How about this guy? This is a memorable night.
Campbell against Harper. Now the pass to Boyd. There's 47 seconds left here in the third quarter. Lee outside. Shot to end this full run. Looks good. Is good. That's his 7th basket in 12 tries.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Well, you simply got to push through that, right? You need to at least contest the shot. Otherwise, he's going to knock it down.
And that's how you answer back.
You can tell. That was a little give good, get good. Executed well on the offensive end, connects on the deep threat.
I'll tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
This will be his 5th trip to the free throw line.
And he buried a bunch of shots from the strike in that last game. We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Good on both. 26 seconds left in the third. Campbell against Harper. 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Dishes it to Garnett. Wiggins passes to Towns. 6 on the shot clock. Can't hit from 12. Charlotte calls timeout.
Really, whether you're up or down, it's a game of adjustments.
Well, I'd like to see them mix it up a little bit. You've got to keep the opposition off balance.
Garcia goes in. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Garcia's got 6.
Continuing to push the action and build this lead.
You can tell they've got their foot on the gas pedal right now. No slowing down. The defense starting to look helpless.
And so it's Charlotte holding a 22-point lead as the quarter wraps up. From the field, they have been outstanding. Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. We come back right after this. And let's listen to head coach Terry Stotts review the game plan with his guys.
Defensively, you got to give a little more.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. On out there with Garnett. Then there's Harper. Then it's Karl Anthony Towns. And it's Wiggins in at the 2 spot. So that's the Timberwolves 5. Towns, the screen. Towns, a screen on Campbell. Here's Harper, and he comes off the screen and spins it through.
Solid screen by Karl Anthony Towns. Fills out that long frame of his. Just an imposing figure.
Hey, Doris, regarding league expansion with the popularity of international basketball, you think there'll ever be a team added to the NBA that is not located in North America?
You know, this is a fascinating supposition because the game is so popular in China. The game is increasingly popular in any number of non-NBA cities in Europe, Kev. I just wonder about the logistics of it. We talk all the time about the difficulty of the travel schedule and then the games in a certain number of nights. If you're incorporating overseas travel, it just seems to me that that's going to be a tough jigsaw to work out.
It could be. If you're playing on the East Coast and playing a London or a Paris, those flights probably don't measure much over 7 hours. But I get your point, and that, you know, all leagues are looking at this now very closely.
This is something the league is looking hard at. It'll be curious to see what occurs from it.
And one of the things, too, is do we need to influence overseas markets now to find new revenues? I think that's something that all the leagues are looking at. Here's Garcia, and he lays it straight in. And the Hornets lead by 19.
Oh, he is one hard player to deal with at the offensive end.
Feeds to Wiggins. And there are the Timberwolves with another bucket.
Man, he is just really in a flow right now. That field goal percentage has gone through the roof.
Campbell against Harper. Brand, a screen on Harper. And count it, and a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploiting it beautifully.
Harper's checked in for Minnesota. Jennings comes in for Harper.
Well, there's that in-between game, right? Wiggins silky smooth from the start.
Campbell kicks to Brand. Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth. Drills it from outside. And that's now 11 points for the Profits.
And weak rotation defensively. This is not a guy you want to leave open when you're trying to stay in the game.
Now, the defense just not in sync there, right? You've got to do a better job communicating.
Wiggins kicks to Towns. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket. And he'll go to the line.
It's really been a tale of two halves, guys. A slow start, but this quarter, he has really been the man.
Doris, when you watch Towns on the court, he's as large as advertised on paper, but moves and plays much more like a guard. It's something that you see more and more in today's NBA, and it seems like he's leading the charge.
No, agreed, Kev. This guy has the ability to handle the basketball like a guard, and that allows him to create separation with the bounce. He can hit step-back jump shots, can spread the floor. Lots to like about his offensive arsenal.
It's good, and it's 13 points for the Profits.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
Garnett, the screen. Jennings kicks to Garnett. There's the dish to Wiggins. And stolen by Garcia. Here we go, one-on-one. Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. To the wing right side. Shot clock at 6. Nice job coming off that screen.
And a good judge of spacing. Sees he can get it off over the taller man.
I'll tell you, he did a nice job feeling the defense out, rising up with ease from the perimeter.
And Garnett misses.
He does the hard part, gets through the defense all the way to the rim. I thought the finish would be the easy part.
Now Campbell. Back to Garcia for 3. And again, Charlotte with the triple.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Garnett, the screen. Jennings kicks to Garnett. He feeds it to Wiggins. The Timberwolves working the ball around Towns. No luck.
Affecting the shot in a big way there. Excellent defense.
Well, you talk about getting into the space of the shooter. This is how you defend the paint.
Campbell, the pass to Brand. Terrific design on the big play. He lays it in.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Hayward dishes to Towns to stop the run. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Towns has got 13 points here in the second half alone. Or as it seems like individual all-star and MVP voting is heavily influenced by how players' teams perform. Is that a good thing?
Well, I will say this, Kevin. I have a vote in some of the postseason awards. And if, in fact, I've got two players at the same position and I need some line of demarcation to separate one from another, a team's win-loss record may influence that. Now, you might say it's unfair, but sometimes the difference between a player making it and not making it is minuscule. I would say this to you, Kevin. I would like to see all-star teams go out to 15 players as opposed to 12. There are 3 teams, first, second, third, all NBA. Why not have 15 guys on the all-star team?
Excellent idea.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He capped off that dunk with some serious end time on the rim. Kerr gets to O'Brien. A floater. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Charlotte's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3. Now, here's Joseph. There's the screen. And the dunk by Joseph.
And that's really the change in our game. It's the overall athletic ability. I love those point guards that can throw it down.
Well, you talked about that. That's a dose of the modern NBA, Greg. That kind of aerial ability isn't limited now to just the front court anymore.
That's exactly right.
That's the point, guys. When your lead playmaker can get to the rim like that and convert, monster advantage.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play. Boy, the assist just put on time and on target. Easy shot opportunity.
Out to the wing. Outside, Garcia. Second shot opportunity. Good work defensively by Kerr. The Timberwolves have gone 7 of 10 shooting the ball since the start of the fourth quarter. Pass to Cameron. There's the feed to Biombo. They set the screen. Three-pointer, Hayward. But they'll get another chance. Down low, O'Brien. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
That's a big payoff for crashing the offensive boards. Go to work.
Here's Dio. And here is Joseph. Misses from short range for Minnesota. They've gotten exactly 2/3 of their shots to find the bottom of the net here in the fourth. 8 of 12. Here's O'Brien. He's covered by Joseph. Here's Hayward. And Gordon Hayward driven to improve his game and carry this team deep into the playoffs.
You have to admire the work habits of Gordon Hayward because he went from a high draft pick to someone who has turned himself into a legitimate all-star. You love his hunger, looking within and saying, how can I be better and lead my team to greatness?
Jaylen Brown's checked in for O'Brien. And the Hornets call time here.
And with the Tide running against them, needs to talk it over with his guys.
Well, Greg, I think I love the timeout call. At least it gives you a shift in momentum. It's a smart move.
Chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game. Lights out.
Yeah, it's his job to keep their offense ticking, and tonight he's earned his keep. He's been able to find open teammates everywhere, feeding the post, creating open jump shots on the perimeter. His passing has been the best element of his game.
And as the star of this team, he knows he's going to be the object of the crowd's anger. Lee's checked in for Garcia.
And that's in the gym range, Kev. He can pull up and knock it down from anywhere.
Jennings kicks to Hayward. Pass to Wiggins. Lee with the steal. To the right side. This one for three. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Towns has got 4 rebounds now tonight. Here's Wiggins. And once again off the mark by Minnesota.
I guess even once in a while.
It's rebounded by Towns. Minnesota's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Nice spin off the left rim and in. 10 points for Gordon Hayward.
Well, Gordon Hayward will find his rhythm fast if you allow him to catch and shoot.
And the rejection by Towns. Jennings with the ball. Picked up by Joseph. Shoots. Jennings can't get it to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
In the corner, it's Hayward. He kicks to Jennings. Over Lee. And a pick bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in.
Gordon Hayward doesn't just look for his own shot. He is terrific at finding the open man.
1:29 left to play in the final quarter.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Charlotte.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in there about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so check it out, their record tonight. That'll mark win number 32 overall.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Joseph.
Boy, we got to see this guy's full range of offensive ability. He scored at every opportunity and in every way imaginable.
Here's B-Train, defended by Hayward. Another shot. Joseph, the pass to Beaches.
And all the energy has been sucked out of this arena. This is not what the fans came to see.
Well, they took the crowd completely out of this game, and when you get a lead like that, it's sort of deflating for the home crowd. What a solid victory on the road.
Lee outside. 6-second difference between shot and game play. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. Towns. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game. And he makes the first. And both free throws good for Lee. Minnesota with the ball. Kerr kicks off. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
I mean, even from over here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
And the second free throw, good. Charlotte in total control. Joseph with the ball. Plays it up and banks it in.
And that's a killer instinct on display as they try to put this one on ice.
I think that's exactly the mentality you have to have. You don't want to give this team any hope of coming back.
So no problem for Charlotte as they get the win. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.